As mentioned in the text, there are three ways to do park overlays. The first way mentioned was to import the ParkOverlays.json file. So we come up to import, browse. This file is on every desktop for the 5 PCs that we have in the logs van. So you click on the file to import it, and then you open it. Now you can import all of these maps if you like, or if you'd prefer, you can only just import one of them. You do that by checking them all off and then checking the one that you want. So I've just imported Briones. It shows up here under Geospatial Images. And if I click, the Briones Park Map overlay shows up on our map. So this is by using ParkOverlays.json file. I'm going to delete this. Okay, so the first way was to use the ParkOverlays.json. The second way we have is within the Hasty Squad account, we actually have a ParkOverlays map. And since all the maps were here, we actually have Briones and Crockett Hills. Now you can add items to this map, overlays on these maps. What we ask though is that when you're done, you export anything you've added, and then you basically clean the map up so that somebody else can use the same map later on without having your data all over it. In this part, we're going to go through the manual process of doing a park overlay. And this is how we created all the ones that we have already. We'll come in and we'll say add a new layer, and we'll say a geospatial image. And it wants the URL. Normally this URL, we have to go out and generally do something like search Google Images for a particular park name. The problem is you have to have either a JPEG or a PNG image. You cannot use a PDF file. So even though a lot of these parks have got their maps out there in PDF format, you cannot use PDF. At the same time, you have to go to the internet. You cannot load a file from your PC. Okay, you have to actually have an HTTP address. And I actually saved one off earlier, so you can see I'm loading in a park map JPEG from our SAR photos albums. So I have all of our maps stored out there. So I will load that. I will call it Briones. And I will do a set. Okay, so this brings the map in, and it places it any old place on the map that it likes. So now what we have to do is find two places on the overlay and then on the base map that are the same. Okay, so in this case, in order for this to work well, I'm going to start off by picking this junction right here, where Briones Road comes off of Alhambra Valley Road. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say Georeference, and I'm going to mark point 1. Point 1 is the point on the overlay. Then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to make the map invisible. I'm going to go to my base map, and I'm going to come to that same road junction, which is Old Briones Road and Alhambra. And now I'm going to georeference, and I'm going to say, okay, mark latitude, longitude 1. So now, when I bring my map back up, yes, I have the junction right where it should be. So now, I will pick a second spot. Generally, it's good to pick a spot on the opposite side of the map from where you just were. And it's also good to pick a spot that's a relatively fine point. So I'm going to say, this case, I'm going to georeference point 2 on my overlay, find the same point, at least what I think is the same point on my map. And so if everything worked, I can check. I can see that, no, I picked the wrong point. I should have picked this point right here. Okay, so I can do it again. I can say, no, I want to make this my latitude, longitude. And now you can see the map is overlaying. Now sometimes you have to do some fine tuning. Now let's see how they line up. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So then I notice that this road in the park matches this road on the base map. They line up nicely. Alhambra Valley Road comes off the park map and runs onto the base map nicely, as well as this little section right here. Okay, so I have this. I name it Briones, and then I save it. And we've now manually georeferenced a park map.